Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today it's just me and Cadie, and we're going to be talking about something we know a lot about, the relationship between sales and operations. I'm Karen, I'm a CPA, entrepreneur with big ideas, and I'm the mom.
I'm Cadie. I'm a payroll specialist, business owner, and detail-oriented person that makes things happen, and I'm the daughter. Welcome to Cheers to Business.
Okay, Cadie, I feel like I should say I'm sales, and you should say, hey, I'm operations.
Yeah, definitely. That's just the way we naturally are. I mean, we were just at Nova Espresso down the street ordering our coffee, and randomly Karen to the barista was like, you should listen to our podcast. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it was just so random and out of the blue, but that's Karen, just always selling.
Well,
which isn't a bad thing.
I'm a very passionate person. I get excited about things, and if I think something's good, I want everybody to know about it. It's kind of like Ray Wineshaker, who was on the show. He tells everybody what he thinks is great.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. That's just not how I would approach spreading the word.
Random.
I would be like, oh, are you the owner or manager?
You don't know who they know. Maybe her mama owns it. You just don't know.
I know, but I try to be more like casual about it and like find out some insight before I like dive in with the hook.
Waste too much time. Go straight for it.
But so, were you a salesperson in your past life?
No, but I was working on studying for my CPA, and I'd finally gotten an accounting job because I got pregnant with you my last quarter of college. So I didn't work for a while, and then I went to work as a bookkeeper. And then when I studied for my CPA, I was actually a controller of a company. And the owner of that company offered me very, very good money to get out of accounting and just go into sales for him.
Why didn't you?
I don't know. I had worked so hard for something, I just wanted to see it through, I guess. But I've been selling all my life. I was just, there was a conversation back at the past life. And it was about how we sell ourselves. And that's, if you're in business for yourself, you are selling yourself.
Right. I mean, if you own a business, you're always going to be a part of that sales team naturally.
Right.
Because it's your life.
And I think that's, if you want a number 2 pencil and be an actuary in a closet for the rest of your life, that's great. Mm-hmm. They're needed. I get it.
Right.
But I don't want to do that.
So our topic today, what we wanted to focus on was the communications between the sales and the operations team.
Did I scroll?
I'm just circling us back.
You're good at that.
Well, and you mentioned having the pencil, but I think it's so important for that salesperson to understand the operations side. If anything, it's going to strengthen them on the sales side of things to understand what goes into the process.
I agree with you.
But you don't want to do it.
But I don't want to do it.
But you realize how important it is.
I'm acknowledging that. I'm acknowledging that. I can bring 150,000 people to the door, but if you don't have people in operations to give them good service, it's meaningless. That's your acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm. We're using Payroll Vault as a specific example because I am heavy operations. I love it. I know it like the back of my hand. It is
You're good at it.
Life and my world, whereas you are just sales. You want to go to everything. You want to talk to everybody.
Go everywhere.
But we have to work as a team for both to understand each side of the coin.
It's not going to work unless that happens. And, you try to get me more and pull me over to look over on that side. And I'm looking over at it. That's great. I just don't want to do it. And I don't know if it comes from, I had my number 2 pencil for a long time. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's it. I just want to have fun now. Maybe that's it. Talking to people is fun.
Okay. I know where you're at now and as far as the fun, but let's back up more into a sales role, a true quarterly report or, quotas to me. Let's take it down, not take it down. That's the wrong word, but do you get what I'm trying to say? Let's say that you were a salesperson for a large national payroll company.
Okay. And I had to collect so many business cards. I got to get so many names in the CRM.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. How do I say this? I'm actually disciplining myself. I don't know how I want to say it. To do that kind of stuff because, I've been trying to get stuff in our CRM system, and I think it's the growing of the business that excites me. Any business, it doesn't have to be mine. That's just fun. So that sales is a big part. And to be honest with you, I know you got the operations covered. I know you got it. You love it. You're great at it. It doesn't need me. I'll muck it up.
Oh, we're having such a communication gap right now, and which is ironic because
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly. That's the funny thing. I don't want you in operations
I know you
at
don't.
all, but I just want you to understand what we are doing and how we operate so that you don't go tell a potential client that we can do something that we can't. I said it.
You know what? You're right. No, you're dead on. You're dead on.
I kid you not. I'm going to tell, I try not to use too many examples or like true life stories about clients because I don't want them to think like that I'm talking about them, but I kind of am. But we had this one client ask us to do something. And I was like, I'm sorry, but unfortunately we're not able to do that, which you hate to tell a client, but sometimes it's true. And her response was, well, you need to go talk to Karen about that because she said you could. Oh, excuse me. One moment. Ring, ring, ring. Karen, what is you doing?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You made me laugh so hard I can't talk.
So I don't want you. I think operations don't want salespeople involved in the operations. We just want you to understand our world.
Yes.
God, this is going nowhere. I think part of the problem is the us versus them, sales versus ops, and they're put in these two different buckets, which they are, two different things. However, they work for the company as a whole, the whole train, and they've got to be working together.
I really do agree with you on that. If it's seen as different forces and it's the same team, it's not going to work.
Right. I mean,
all right. So what are some ideas to bring those two together? Because even when we're going to conference pretty soon and it's sales and it's ops, it's two totally different. You got to pick or choose.
Well, and you could have the best process on the planet, but if someone isn't out selling it, what good is it doing you?
What does Johnny say about sausage?
They care. Nobody cares about how the sausage was made. They just want to eat it. Right?
You need a cheers mark right there.
I mean, that's the gist.
I had this awful mental picture.
No, Cadie, the quote is, nobody cares how sausage is made. They only care about buying the sausage. And I think I hear what you're saying is, I think that
she wants to eat the sausage.
Maybe she's not hungry maybe she wants breakfast sausage. I don't know. So I guess what I'm hearing you say is, at this point, the consumer doesn't really care how it's done. But if you are making the sausage and you work for the sausage company, it's a holistic approach. Everyone can know about their product and be able to produce it well and also talk about it well.
I can't sell your sausage unless I know what's in it.
It's going to be the rest of the episode. Let me rewind to 2 years ago when I first started selling payroll, going out and meeting with potential clients. I would go into all of these details
Nobody cares.
Here's how we process it. And nobody cared. They would start to get this glazed over look. And
because they don't care.
Exactly. Just process my payroll. I don't care how you do it.
Can you help me make money by not having to do that crap myself? And can you make my life easy?
Exactly.
Yep.
So that was one thing, ops, not all ops people are good salespeople. And
no. But that's one of the biggest mistakes I've done in business.
Try to move people.
I tried to fit the wrong ass into the wrong seat. And I tried to make somebody a salesperson. And being able to sell is a God-given talent.
Absolutely.
Just like welders or artists and anybody that specializes in what they do.
And there's different types. There's different sales roles. I feel like you can talk to anyone.
I can talk to a tree.
And you can sell people. You can get people to realize what they need before they do.
And a lot of times I don't realize I'm doing it. I get that passionate about something that I feel is right and good and can add value. And next thing I know, they're buying into it. I don't know.
But the way I sell, it's almost like I take an ops approach.
You do.
So let's walk through each of your problems,
Right. But I do think there's room for both places. The reason is because not everybody gets me. Some people are so scared of what's going to come out of my mouth next. That's why I don't get more speaking engagements, I think. But at the same point, the next person will want to have this fun relationship and work together, and they don't care about the details. But the person on the other side of them needs the details to make them feel all warm and snuggly. So I do think it's a cross match, and maybe that's why we do so well when we go out networking.
Right.
Is because we are sales and operations. I feel like we should start the podcast. I'm sales. I'm mom, you're the daughter. I'm sales, you're operations. And maybe that's why it works, is because we trust each other enough to handle that.
So maybe that's one aspect of bridging this gap between sales and operations. You need one person from each of those sides who can communicate to kind of be the voice for that side of the team or that side of the business.
Yes. I can see conversations, especially when you get people, like if I can have people at least look at us. Okay, look at payroll vault, look at this business, whichever business it is, and then have you come in behind me to discuss the details because I don't get it. I know the basics, but I'm probably going to muck it up. That's why I can't sell for Marine Exhaust Systems of Alabama. My brother and I own that, and it's a manufacturing fabrication shop, and there are 15 artists in the bike, but I can't do what he does. I'll say, what is that? And he'll go, that's a 9122. I don't know what that is. And so I think he talks in code like that just to irritate me. I know he's listening. But I really want to know what it is. And I'm trying to understand the operations better there. That was a look. And I'm trying to understand more of the operations. And I've been listening.
You have.
Give it to me. Come on.
You have.
And trying to understand more. But before, I'd never had the time to really understand the operations. I just knew the business model. There was a need. It was good. But I trusted you, and I trust Mark enough. Y'all got that part. And so maybe that's why I don't worry about it as much either.
Right.
So how do we bridge the gap?
So I think part of it is, and we've tried this before, not expecting like sales to sit in on an ops meeting, and ops people don't need to sit on a sales meeting. But I think almost like a third meeting where the bullet points from each of those individual meetings. Like, hey, here's what we're doing on the sales side. We're launching a really strong marketing campaign, so you guys can expect some sales, an increase of onboards in the next 3 months. That's our goal, to bring you 50 new clients by the end of the year.
Right, because if we don't bring the clients in, you don't have anything to do.
Or just a heads up of, hey, we're trying this new tactic.
Right.
Here's what you can expect from us.
That makes me think of something really interesting, that in some of the companies, we've always had incentives. If you bring any clients in, if you bring, you get people to sign up with us, whatever company it is, doesn't matter. I think it's a tendency of true operations people. They will never, ever, they could be talking to a business owner looking for what they do, and it won't even come up. It's always amazed me that operations people don't know anybody that needs our service. But the conversations just don't happen.
That's what they do know people, and they even think of people. But that conversation is a hard one to have if it's not your natural skill.
Exactly my point. We're actually sitting across the table from each other right now, and I think that's why we ended up on our sides of the table, is because you love what you do and I love what I do. So just coming together so that both parties have the appreciation of the other. I think we respect each other, but the appreciation for what the other does. Mm-hmm. I'll try to learn more operations.
I don't want you to learn ops. That's where our communication.
Okay, then what do you want me to do?
I don't want you to do anything.
Yay me!
The whole conversation is the gap between the two. The understanding that we don't have to do what each other does, but we have to keep each other in the loop, and we have to listen to each other.
All right, so we just need a meeting for communication.
A meeting for a meeting.
Have your people call my people. Cadie, I'm not sure what you want, because I say I'll try. I say I'll do ops. I don't want to go there. You don't want me there. So I can bring people to the table all the time. I can say I appreciate, and that's the truth, and I so appreciate you know how to do that, and the ops people back at the office, I think they're amazing. but I don't know how to I can bring people in, but I'm still going to need your help.
See, but I think that's part of like coming from ops. Like, I just want to educate people. Like, I want to let them know, hey, here's how we're going to help you. And that's my cup of tea, I guess. But I can't bring them to the table. So that's where you come in. So you bring them to the table, and then I want to educate, go over the nuts and bolts, the details, and then you close them.
So you educate and I fascinate, right?
And close.
And close.
And that comes from ad agencies. Johnny, our producer, was talking about ad agencies, and you've got the creative people and the accounts people or salespeople, and it's our job to work together. There's competitors out there trying to get the deal as well. So we don't need to fight with each other internally for this one account.
I tell you, one thing I'm taking away from this that I think I've learned through this long process is that I need to stop and just listen. You don't want me to do it. I just need to listen while you talk about or work something out about the operations, because that's what excites you. People want to talk about what excites them.
I think that's a big part of it, because I've heard stories when you were with the larger firm, you would go sit in somebody's office to talk about something.
Talk it out. Just talk it out.
I just need to talk it out. She would never say anything, and you would have the problem solved.
Yeah, I would solve my own problem.
Exactly.
But she would do it when she came to my office.
Exactly, that sounding board. So maybe that's part of the thing with sales and ops. They're not looking for answers from one another, but it's simply almost to get that sounding board and someone who's not in it every day.
Right.
Because, ops people, I'm doing a lot of hand motions, but getting that perspective from somebody else on the other side.
And you need that outside perspective. I say all the time, take a step to the right, look at things a different way and a different perspective. And I guess that is it. Now I'm getting excited about us moving forward with Payroll Vault, because now we'll listen to each other, because my way's not always right. Your way's not always right, but you're going to be right in ops. And I'm going to need taming, but about getting names out there, getting businesses out there, growing businesses. That's what excites me.
I think one thing, too, is the ops people, they know the ideal client or the ideal customer, because they're dealing with all these multiple ones. And they may say, okay, well, here's the problem with this client. Here's why we love this client. And that insight could help you, the salesperson, narrow down the ideal client for the whole company.
So when are we having a meeting?
Right now.
Okay, since we've come to an understanding that we both need to listen to each other, that how about that I meet with the operations people, everybody, and so we have another lunch or something, and I'll do a pitch, and they'll tell me what's wrong with it.
A pitch to
to the operations people. Have sales do a pitch, tell when they're out in the outside world, what are you telling people? All right, your elevator pitch. Mm-hmm. All right, so I do the elevator pitch. I need to find out if I'm even saying the right things. Who better to let me know than the operations people?
Exactly. I think that's a great idea.
All right, but I want operations to bring something to me. So what can you bring to me?
I think one thing would maybe what we've done for a client, like almost an example of, hey, here's a problem that a client had. Here's how we fixed it. Because when you're selling, there's different people. There's people that want statistics. There's people who want stories. I've read a book a while back. I can't remember, but it's basically the different kind of buyers.
Personalities.
So you may have someone who, you sell based on giving them real life examples so that we can give those to you. Hey, this client X had this problem. Here's how we helped them.
And then when I hear that problem out there, I go, oh, we fixed that.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're going to share the knowledge.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to share sales with your operations people, and all the operations people are going to sell ops with me.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
I'm way outnumbered, but I do think it'll be helpful.
Well, we would pick one. We would chat and pick one example to give you.
The hardest one?
No, the best one.
Okay.
The best problem.
Okay. Give me the best problem so I can go out and tell the world.
How we solve your problems.
This is why they're heroes.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And operations people, admin people truly are heroes. I want you to know that I mean that.
It almost works both ways. So it's almost like sales is a superhero and ops is a sidekick. But then it also works on the flip side. Ops are the heroes and sales is the sidekick.
I like that. Cheers.
What are we drinking today?
We are drinking Chateau de Costas. What is Bordeaux? What does Bordeaux mean?
I don't know, but it tastes good.
Sounds like a whorehouse.
Oh my gosh.
I hope they scratch that.
You know, I think we should have a meeting at Donkey Market. If you're in Mobile and you need a good spot to have your sales and operations meetings,
there you go.
A nice glass of wine.
See,
just
you're
really,
selling it. You're selling
it helps mellow everybody out. It's so relaxing. She has some tables in the store for meetings. Just give her a call, Brooke at Donkey Market.
Cheers to bridging the gap between sales and operations.
And working as one team.
Yay, us. Y'all, thank you so much for listening and being here with us today. I'm Karen.
I'm Cadie. Please be sure to subscribe to Cheers to Business podcast on iTunes or anywhere else that you get your podcast. Visit our Facebook and be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, shoot us an email from the website cheerstobusiness.com.